Some disturbing breaking news to tell you about. It tops the Fox 11 weekend news. This Sunday, an intruder broke into the official residence of L.A. Mayor Karen Bass today. That suspect is now in custody. Good evening to you. I'm Susan Hirosuna. Chelsea Edwards is at the Getty House in Windsor Square with the latest developments. And Chelsea, I would bet since we got this tip, you were the first one on the scene, yes?
Yes, indeed. You know, it was an active scene then. It's still an active scene now. We've seen lots of LAPD officers coming in and out, private security as well here at Getty House, as you can see behind us. Now, I have confirmed that the mayor is okay, but you can imagine just terrifying moments for her this morning. That intruder got into her home here in the Hancock Park area. Her reps say she is okay, but I just spoke with a lieutenant who said the suspect appears to have hurt himself while breaking in through a glass door. Take a look at this video. We have Sky Fox overhead. Now, the LAPD confirms they were called to Getty House here on South Irving Boulevard just before 7 o'clock this morning. Sky Fox overhead again this afternoon as the mayor got out of a black SUV carrying a couple of bags. You can see she was flanked by several members of her team. She walks through the driveway's gates, then across the courtyard area of the property. It looks like someone comforts her briefly before she walks inside the home. Now take a look at this video from here on the ground. Now, police have been relatively tight-lipped about this investigation this afternoon. They do say the suspect suffered minor injuries and has been arrested. One of the mayor's representatives came out to tell us that she is okay. He gave us the following statement. Look here. He said, quote, "This morning at about 6:40 a.m., an intruder broke into Getty House through a window. Mayor Bass and her family were not injured and are safe. The mayor is grateful to LAPD for responding and arresting the suspect." Here's my recent conversation with that LAPD lieutenant. Listen here. The suspect was hurt in some way, right?
It appears that as he was making entry into the house, he may have cut himself.
So it doesn't appear that there was an altercation between him and anybody inside the home?
Does not appear that way, no.
Okay. Is it targeted, random? What do we know about that?
That's still ongoing. We don't know yet, but that is something we're going to look into.
And Mayor Bass home at the time?
Mayor Bass was in residence. She is fine. She's in good. She was not injured.
What about her security detail? Where were they?
I'm not sure where they were at. I don't have that information right now, but that'll probably be forthcoming in the coming days.
Now, you may remember Bass's home in Baldwin Vista was broken into back in September of 2022. She was still a congresswoman at that time. She was campaigning for her current role as mayor. In that case, two suspects made off with two .38 caliber revolvers, but they left behind cash and electronics. Those two suspects were both sentenced to at least 2 years each in prison. That happened just last summer. But
California laws are so liberal, and I was just telling the people about this on the Millionaire Morning Show. It's so funny that that they will sentence those people probably to the fullest extent of the law, and they'll get those people prosecuted ASAP. But to the regular residents and we've been documenting this for a long time on the Millionaire Morning Show. If y'all not a part of that platform, we go into this a lot more extensively, but I wanted to expound on this in particular because I remember just a couple years ago, it might even not even been a couple years ago, but they were highlighting in the news that people were literally complaining about the idea that even when they went into the city and they were living in affluent neighborhoods and they had paid an egregious amount of taxes that obviously is being fumbled by both the city and the governor, Gavin Newsom, in which they're operating at a deficit right after they had a surplus because nobody wants to live in California anymore that's a high taxpayer. But it was people that was being followed home from being robbed because what happened was they was waiting outside of the luxury stores, or they would look for people with luxury cars and they would basically follow them home, right? And so over the last few years, that's really, really been a thing. And break-ins and liberal laws and the fact that California jails are overcrowded, but at the same time, they've put forth, because it's a multi-layered thing and that you have to put forth solutions which also include cutting off people coming into this country illegally that then commit a lot of these crimes, as you've seen as far as the people that was listed that had previously broken into her home. Now, I've never personally heard of legislators or mayors in particular, especially of large cities, having multiple attempts of break-ins in their homes. Let me revise that. Not attempts, but actually real break-ins at their homes, in which obviously, if you look at the residents of the place that she was living at, it's a really affluent. I mean, in California, that house has to cost nothing short of 7-8 million minimum. Nothing short of 7-8 million minimum. No way that house costs any less than that. considering that a shack over in Los Angeles is over $1 million. Over in Oakland, where all of the businesses have left, they've lost all of their sports teams, and In and Out, even though they were profitable, can't even keep people from breaking into the cars inside of the parking lot. They've handcuffed the police, and that the police officers can't do anything because not only did y'all protest against them, but California was already super liberal. And every time a police officer touched somebody, y'all want to sue them. And so now police officers are nothing more than overglorified babysitters. And I even remember a time where Black Lives Matters, during that whole protest where y'all was getting finessed, where people were basically telling y'all that y'all didn't even need police officers for most issues, especially domestic issues or issues that there wasn't a really heavy crime. The only thing you needed was a resource officer or a therapist or somebody that can help solve for social issues, and that's who y'all wanted to send. You got to send a really strong message in that the people that are paying their taxes and doing the right thing, in order for them to continue to live in an environment, even when you have some of the most phenomenal weather in the United States of America, and even some would consider even the world, when you have some of the most phenomenal weather, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people move over to California in the first place, or they were born and raised there, nobody even wants to live there anymore, and they're looking for alternatives because it's overpriced, crime is out of control, you have immigrants or illegal immigrants coming into the country, and it's so bad over there that you have a mass exodus from what some people would consider largely one of the best weather climates in the United States of America. And it now has gotten to the point where even the mayor of Los Angeles has had multiple break-in attempts, both when she was in Congress and now when she's a mayor. And they're trying to downplay this to you guys and say, oh, no, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, man, oh, everything is cool. It's not, whatever. We know what it is in reality. In reality, we know what it is that crime has gotten so out of control and rampant. Homelessness is out of control and rampant. Yet we continue to throw more money than ever, not to just solving a problem, because let's be honest, I believe I read a report where it said that over $28 billion had been spent and allocated towards solving for homelessness. Where? Tent cities is everywhere. Home Depot is closing off their parking lots everywhere. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And so it's more than just holding legislators accountable, even though legislators are a reflection of the people. You got to understand that the people are nothing more because they're the ones that voted him in office. They vote Gavin Newsom in office. They voted Karen Bass in office. See, y'all not familiar with the fact that Karen Bass was one of the people that advocated for being a sanctuary city, and they were the ones that was over there in Washington, D.C. Karen Bass, Mike Johnston over in Denver. He probably the only smart one that didn't divest it from this whole situation and said, y'all can't come here no more. Mike Johnson over in Denver. My man Brandon Johnson over in Chicago. Eric Adams, the Atlanta mayor, Mike Dickens. All of these guys and all of these people are advocating for some of the worst policies in order to continue to push forth this liberal agenda that's not benefiting anybody, including the residents of these cities and these states. And so the local politics is just as important as national politics, but more importantly, the culture by which we continue to subject ourselves to and what we allow to continue to happen. These slaps on the wrist is only putting innocent people and good people at risk. And now they're breaking into the mayor's home because they have no regard for you whatsoever. So much happening, so much deterioration of our cities and our environments that's not conducive for the people that live there. But I'm pretty sure that y'all gonna continue to do the same thing that y'all been doing, and then y'all gonna run it somewhere else and then turn that blue also. Just wondering. I'm curious as to what y'all think. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Millionaire Morning Show was popping today. Make sure you tap into the live stream tonight with Q. And then last but not least, if y'all not a part of the Patreon, you really are missing out. We got Stock Club coming up this week. And so we go over everything that you need in order to be successful, from the most basic all the way up to the most complicated, broken down from a C student's perspective. I'm curious as to what y'all think about this. Make sure y'all tap in. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Can't wait to read the comments, bro.